Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Matt here, Northern Outlier. Today we got another project going on in the garage. We are going to be installing this air filtration system you see behind me, which will hopefully alleviate all the dust issues we've been having. So make sure you like this video, hit subscribe down below if you haven't already. Stay tuned and enjoy. So I've done a few projects out in the garage in the last few months, and the one thing that's really become apparent is the dust issues. So back in the fall, the first time I noticed it, I was undercoating our vehicles. So I was underneath and I was scraping off dirt and rust and doing some sanding and just stirring up a lot of dust and dirt. And there was a fine layer on everything in the garage. I basically had to go around and clean everything. Just because it bothered me, I wanted it to be clean. Anyways, I just recently finished a woodworking project. First piece of furniture I ever built, a TV stand. I didn't film it, I should have. But anyways, during that process, I was doing a lot of sanding. I was using old barnwood and basically using a grinder. I used a grinder with flap discs and to take off the outer layer. So I had no dust shroud on it or anything sucking up particles, and there was stuff flying everywhere. This garage, after doing that sanding, you literally look up and it was just a haze in the air. So I knew it was going to be bad like that, so I did wear my respirator. I wouldn't recommend doing that kind of work without a respirator or air filtration or something. Anyways, so at that point I was like, I definitely need something. I need to deal with this issue. So I purchased this Wen unit here, and I'm going to go over all the specs on it here shortly. And yeah, the reason why I bought this one and how it's kind of sized for the shop. So but first things first, I'm going to just walk you around. I'm going to show you. Right now it's actually, I've cleaned up quite a bit, but there's lots of dust still on everything in this shop. So let's just take a look now. So you can see here, that was my hockey bag that was sitting there. This is really messy over here right now, but and I've cleaned up actually a bit, but there's still dust on the table. I have a weed whacker that's been sitting here that I need to deal with. It's coated, so you can just see it's on everything. The fridge, the top of my cabinet. So in choosing an air filter, I went with the Wen brand, which is from Home Depot. That's where I got it. It's model 3417. They do make a smaller unit. When I was going through these and researching, trying to figure out what I wanted, I came across a lot of units that there's the smallest, I think, has the top end of its settings is about 400 cubic feet per minute. That's a small unit. This is a step up. So this is 1,044 cubic feet per minute. And that's all based on the size of your shop. So for me, it's about 24 feet, approximately 24 by 34, I want to say. I've measured on the inside, and I got 10-foot ceilings. So when I figure out the volume, basically multiply those three numbers, I got 8,160 cubic feet. That's the volume of this entire shop, two-car garage. So then what you want to do is you want to pick a unit that will cycle the air, I've heard 6 to 8 times per hour. So there's a little bit of math involved. So once you have your volume, 8,160, you look at your unit. So the high setting on this one does 1,044 cubic feet per minute. So that means that it's just shy of 8 minutes to cycle all the air in this garage once. So that means in an hour and 60 minutes, it will cycle it just shy of 8 times, 7.6 times. So that's kind of, I think you want it around 6 to 8 times per hour that your air is being circulated. So going with a 400 cubic feet per minute unit is just a little bit too small. It's not gonna, it would help. It's gonna help the situation, but I wanted to get something sized appropriately. This is kind of what I determined, 1,044. They go up, actually, they go into, I think, 1,200 and 1,400 cubic feet per minute. But this is going to be more than enough. It was not the most expensive. I think you can buy, it's like Jet is the brand, that are like really well known, top end units. This is kind of, I guess, middle of the road. But we're gonna get it installed and we're gonna see how it does. The whole point is, I just want to see some of that dust coming out of the air. I don't want to have dust settling on everything. So anyways, that's all the math involved. That's how I figured out the unit. The unit itself, it's a WEN 3417, as I said. Some of the specs on it. So it has 3 settings. The low setting is 556 cubic feet per minute. The middle setting is 702, and the top end one is 1,044. It comes with 2 filters. I'll show you here in a second. But it's got, 2 filters. It's got an outer filter, which is, I believe, 5 microns. Yep, outer filter is 5 microns. The inner filter is 1 micron. And it does come with a remote control, which is right here. It also comes with a whole bunch of hardware. It doesn't come with chains. I had to get chains separately, and I had to get my lag bolts or I-hook lag bolts separately as well. So we'll show you a clip here of all the hardware it comes with, and we'll show you also the filter setup on it. Another important thing to keep in mind is when you get the unit, there are styrofoam blocks inside. I have already removed them, but you basically have to pull off the filters. There's a bit of a screen or a grate. You have to unscrew that, reach in and pull out the blocks. It's just something they ship. That's how they ship it. So you got to make sure to do that. And then put your filters back in, and then we're going to go through the whole install from there. So anyways, let's now talk about locating the unit within your garage. Okay, so now figuring out where to put the unit. So the instructions themselves are not all that clear. All it says is at least 7 feet off the floor, and 3 feet away from a corner, or like a heater, or a vent or something. So it's not, I knew there was probably a little bit more involved than just kind of putting it up wherever. So that was the one bad thing. The instructions weren't very clear. So I just Googled it. And kind of the one thing I came across that seemed to be fairly well known, at least, or a lot of people were saying, is you want to position it on the long wall of your shop, and approximately a third the way away from the short wall, I think is my understanding, and then 7 feet off the ground at least, and then fairly close to the wall itself. And then you position it so that you don't want to have the suction or the outtake positioned against the wall, obviously. So I think how they said how you should have it is you should have the clean air, basically the exhaust, towards the area that you're working the most. I believe. I don't think you want to position yourself between the suction and like the dust itself, ideally. So anyways, I'm very limited on where I can put it in my shop, because the other thing is it has a plug. It just has a, what is that, a 120 or 110? I should know this, but it just has that plug, so you need an outlet. And currently my shop, my garage, only has 2 outlets for the garage door openers. So I'll show you here. I've got basically 2 spots. So I've got that spot up there, and this is where it's probably going to go. And then I've got that spot over there. So I think it's going to be going up on this side. Now it's not a third of the way, it's kind of in the middle of the garage, but it is what it is. And again, I've got 2 spots where I can put it. So that's basically where it's going to go. So first things first on prepping it to put it up is you want to they give you these hooks and these nuts. So you feed the nut onto you thread it on, and we got to remove these screws, the 4, and then thread these all in. So I currently got 2 of the eye hooks installed with the chains. Something I forgot to mention, I pre-cut my chains, and then I just bent the hook to fit it in. I don't know, you might want to use S-hooks. I didn't have any, so that's what I'm going with. But so that's why I put those on beforehand, so I don't have to struggle up here bending it and putting the chain on. But yeah, we'll get the other 2 done. So I'm almost there. I definitely do not suggest doing it this way. I think there's a lot of room for error. And you have to be confident in your knots. So I'm pretty good at tying knots, so I'm using I guess it's a trucker's hitch or a half hitch, and just kind of going side to side, corner to corner, and kind of hoisting it up. So it's working, but yeah, I'd probably do a different method, that's for sure. So it's on the chains, I did it. Wow. I'd never do that again. Don't do it that way, please. So there you have it, it's installed. So then you just have your remote and turn it on here. I believe this is the low setting. Yeah, so that's the low setting. This is medium. And that's high. So it is a bit noisy. So yeah, those are the three settings. So if you're working away, you could just turn it on, let it run while you're working. The other nice thing is it has a timer function. So you can leave it on a timer. I believe it's 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours. So that means that when you're done and you leave, I can put it on for 1 hour. It'll run through that timer. It'll run for that hour, and then after that hour, it'll shut off. So nice feature, because there's usually after you're done working, there's lots of dust flying around in the air. So. So there you have it, finally installed. I don't recommend doing it that way, but it's up there and it's working. So anyways, I'll do an update video to let you know how it works. But anyways, make sure you like this video, hit subscribe down below if you haven't already, and stay tuned and we'll see you next time. Thank you.